Hello everyone, good morning. So can anyone confirm audible or not? So anyone have any questions? In yesterday's program, reusable components, anyone have any questions? You can unmute and talk for 5 minutes. Anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions? Come on. No questions? Can anyone confirm audible or not? Am I audible?
Yes.
No. No questions?
Yes,
Okay, then. So we can move to the next level topic. What is our next level topic? Life cycle phases. Any component you can take it in their entire life. That component may enter into how many phases? That component may enter into how many phases? Any component you can take it.
3 phases.
Okay, that component may enter into 3 phases or not. Okay, if you load that component like this, okay, the component rendered inside the browser, we can say like what? That phase. That phase what? Mounting phase or not? Mounting phase or not? After some time, okay, whatever the content is there, I want to change the total content, okay, some part of, okay, some, okay, piece of, okay, some piece of code, okay, if you want to change it, okay, just you can change it, no problem at all. Now we can say that component entered into which phase? Updating phase or not. Now after some time, okay, I thought like this component is not required for me. That means what? You have to remove that particular entire component from the browser or not. So that phase is what we can say. That phase what we can say? Unmounting phase or not. Any component you can take it. My component may enter into these 3 phases or not. The component may enter into these 3 phases or not. Agreed? Everyone? Okay. Now come to our actual requirement. Today's date is like what? 2707 into 023. Yeah, perfect. Okay, I have one component. Listen carefully and answer this question. Okay, I have one component. This component written some content like this. This component written some content like this. Now tell me, my question is, do you know how much time exactly it is going to take to render such an inside the browser? As a developer, I'm asking. Do you know this particular content rendered inside the browser? To render this content inside the browser, how much time it will take? Do you know that as a developer?
No.
No, right? No, right?
Two
Okay.
time.
How much time it is going to take? Time, 1 minute. Okay, 1 second, 2 minutes. Exact time we don't know, right? Exact time we don't know, right? Why means very simple. So this content now 1 line. In future it is like always 1 line. It may be 100 lines. It may be 1000 lines. I'm not sure about that. Okay. First, who is going to? For example, there has one task is there. Okay. The task I assign to you. Who knows about the task? Okay, when it is completed, is it completed or not? Status and everything. Who knows? I assign this task means who is doing the task that they only knows, right? Yes or no? That's current status of the task, that task completed or not. Okay, who knows first? Who is doing that one? That guy only knows or not? Yes or no? So here rendering also done by whom? Who renders? Content rendered by whom? Content rendered by whom? React people, right? Am I render anywhere? React people only, right? Render this content inside the browser. Okay, as a developer, just I written this particular content from my component. Who take the content, who rendered inside the browser? All this stuff taken care by whom? React people only or not? So if this work is done by rendering is done by React people, who knows about the status then? Who knows about the status then? Who knows about the status? React people only knows, right? Okay, rendering is in progress. Okay, rendering started, rendering completed inside the browser. All this status, who knows? Who did the work? That guy only. Who did the work? Rendering. React people. React people only knows about the status of my rendering or not. All are okay. So for good. One. So for good. Okay, perfect. Now come to my requirement now. Come to my requirement. My requirement is very simple. Yeah. I want to execute some piece of code before content rendered inside the browser. On. My question is what? I have some code. Some piece of code is there. I execute some piece of code before render the content inside the browser. Then where you want me to write the code? Where you want me to write the code? Before render, before written statement or not? Say this, before written statement, whatever the code you written here, that code, okay, when it is going to render? When it is going to render? Okay, before rendered inside the browser or after rendered inside the browser? When it is going to execute that code? Come on.
Before render.
Whatever the code you written here, this code executed, okay, before render the contents inside the browser or not? Yes or no? Agreed with me? Write code to execute when? Before render the content inside the browser or not? Yes, that is okay. But my question is reverse. I want to execute some piece of code after rendering the content inside the browser. After rendering the content inside the browser. You want me to write here? Before means before written statement, after means after written statement. You want me to write here? You want me to write here? If you write here, then what happened?
It will ignore after it.
It is not executed. It is untraceable statement, right? In your JavaScript, any function return some value after written statement. If you write any statements, those statements will execute or not execute?
No.
Those statements will execute or not execute? Those statements will never execute, right? Okay, so this is not the right place. Okay, 100%. It is not the right place or not? Not the right place. Then where you want me to write it? Then where you want me to write it? Then where you want me to write it? Okay, do you know how much time it will take? First tell me. Do you know how much time it will take to render the content inside the browser?
No.
As a developer, you know? I don't
No.
know. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? React people only knows. Then that time, okay, can you ask them, hey, can you tell me when this rendering is completed so that I have some piece of code is there I want to execute? You have to ask them only or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay. Yes. Okay. So for how many hooks we discussed? So for how many hooks we discussed? How many hooks we discussed so far?
Use
Use state for what?
statement
At
at
the
component.
component level or not? Next hook is what?
Ref.
Use ref for what? Online answers tell me. Use ref for what? If you not
Using DOM element.
create a reference, right? Create an empty reference, right? Okay, next. Next.
Use context.
Use context or not? For what?
Passing props to
Passing
from parent to all children or not?
parent to all childs.
Okay, next. Did we discuss anything? Did we discuss any other things? All right. Now this is the time. Okay, we need to explain. Use effect is the hook. Use effect is the hook. By using use effect hook, we can the life cycle phases of your component. Okay, that means we can monitor the life cycle phases of your component. Hey, mounting is completed or not. I want to monitor. Hey, okay, updating is completed or not. I want to monitor. Hey, this component is unmounted or not. I want to monitor. Okay, if you want to handle the life cycle phases, that is possible by using which hook? Using which hook? Use effect hook or not. By using use effect hook, we can handle what? We can handle what? Life cycle phases or not. Handle life cycle phases or not. So how we can handle that one? That is the question. Okay, handle life cycle phases is okay. Okay, how we can handle, that is the question. Shall we? Okay, come on, one by one requirement. First requirement is very simple. First requirement is very simple. I want to execute some piece of code before render the content inside the browser. Before render inside the browser. Next, then after render the content inside the browser. Like that, we can discuss one by one. Can I open our workspace folder? Let's start. Very simple. Don't think more. Okay, simple, normal way you can think. Okay. Before mount. Before mount. Can I take hello.html? Control A, Control C. Can I take this one? Can I place here? I want to put the debuggers. Okay, now line number 10, I put the debugger. After that, just I add some piece of code. Okay, console.log of before render content inside the browser. Inside the browser. Okay, can I execute this? Okay, then can I inspect it? Yes. Can I refresh the page? Now my execution stopped at line number 4. Tell me, at this moment, content loaded inside the browser or not? I am at line number 4. Content loaded inside the browser or not?
Not.
I already told you, don't think more. Content loaded or not loaded in the browser? See this is the browser. Hello world is visible or not visible? Not visible.
Not visible.
Then not loaded. Okay. Another way, go to elements tab. Which one is the root? Which one is my root element? Container is what? Is my container have the content? Did we say, yeah? Not empty. That means content not there. Content not loaded. At this moment, content not loaded. Now go to source. Can you come to the next line? Yes. Now I am at line number 6. Content loaded or not loaded? I am at line number 6. Content loaded or not loaded?
Not loaded.
Not loaded. But line number 5 executed or not? That means what? Before loading the content, if you want to execute some piece of code, can you write those statements before written statement? All are agreed?
Yeah.
Come on. Before written statement, whatever you written, that is executed before loading the content only or not? Once you written it, okay, say before written only, this statement executed. Once you written it, now say this, my content loaded or not? All are okay? Simple. That is the first thing. Next one. Come on. Before mounting or after mounting this time? Before or after? Before mounting or after mounting? After mounting now. Okay. After mounting, if you want, okay, can I write the code here? Will it work? Just now only, you only told. No, right? No.
No.
Why means? Okay, after statement. Okay. If you write some statement also, those are not executed. Okay. Here if I write, that is before. Here it is right, that is not executed. Then where I can write? Okay, then you can take the React help. Okay, who knows who render the content inside the browser? You or React? Who render the content inside the browser? You or React?
React.
Okay, if React people doing some work means who knows about the status? Who knows about the status? Who is doing
React.
that guy only? React. Status is nothing but okay, content, okay, rendering started, rendering in progress, rendering is completed. This status, who knows? React people only knows. So that if React people only knows, then the time can you ask them only, hey, content loading completed or not? Okay, how we can come to know? Okay, if you ask to React people, then the time they said like, hey, there has one hook is there, that is use effect hook. By using that use effect hook, we can, okay, you can track whether that content loaded or not loaded. So can I use the use effect hook? Okay, all hooks are what? All hooks
Functions.
are functions. Okay, right where? Where you want me to write? Inside functional components only. Inside functional components only. So can I write which hook? React dot use effect hook. All hooks are functions. All hooks are functions. Okay, so that I can call it. Now, what is your next level question? Yeah, use effect you are calling. Okay, are they expecting any arguments? That is only right. Next level discussion. Okay, next level. Okay, question. You are calling one use effect. Use state if you call, then that you pass one argument, right? Same like that. Use effect you are calling means are they expecting any arguments? Means yes, they are expecting like okay, two arguments. One is like callback function, another one is like one array, one dependent array. Okay, this array we can talk later. Focus on this one. Can anyone tell me the syntax? Syntactically, whatever I highlighted, that is what? Syntactically, that is called as what?
Callback function.
Callback function. Yes or no? You given this callback function to whom?
Use effect.
Use effect.
Use effect.
Okay, so my callback function given to some other person, that person call back with another reference or not. So my use effect call this callback function or not. Given this one to use effect. So who call this function? Who call this function?
Use effect.
Use effect.
Right, use effect only or not. Now my question is when my use effect is going to call this function, that is only the question. When my use effect is going to call this function, see, I given something to you. That is not like, okay, immediately you have to use, right? Whenever it is required, then only you can use it or not. Yes or no? Same like that, we given one function to use effect. Whenever he required, whenever he want, then only he can call it or not. When he called, that is the question. Can we check it? Can we check it? Yes. Now come here, inspect it. Can I refresh the page? First, line number 4. At this moment, content rendered or not rendered? Content rendered or not rendered? Not.
Not render.
Line number 5. What are you doing? You are calling which method?
Use
You are
effect.
calling which method? Use effect method you are calling. Okay, by passing what? One callback function. By passing one callback function. Is my callback function immediately called? Is it like immediately called? Line number 6 has to execute. Is it immediately called? Immediately not called. Okay, use effect we called, but use effect not call that callback immediately or not. Agreed? It's my statement. I am at line number 8. I am at line number 8. Is my content loaded or not loaded? I am at number 8. Content loaded or not loaded? Not loaded.
No.
And also content not loaded. Line number 6 executed or not executed so far? Line
Executed.
not executed. Line number 6 executed. A use effect called, but use effect call this callback. No, right? You called use effect, but use effect not call this callback. You given, I given one function to you, but that function is not called by you. That function is not called by you or not. Yes or no? Agreed with me?
Yes.
Come on. At this moment, my content loaded or not loaded? Not loaded. Why? You not written right. You not written right. Now observe, very, very important. Come on.
After
My-
loading, it's executing.
My use effect call this callback or not?
Yes.
Or not? Okay, called. At that moment, already my content loaded inside the browser or not? Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
That means, okay, if you want to perform some operation, once my content loading is completed, which place is the right place to write that code?
Use effect.
The use effect callback, line number 6 is the right place or not? Agreed? Yes or no? Now,
Yes.
how many statements are there to render render inside the browser? 1 lakh statements are there. After 1 lakh statements rendering is completed, after that only my use effect is going to call this callback or not. That means I can say like what? Yes, my content loading is completed. I can perform some operation like that. You can say or not whenever my use effect call this callback. All are agreed? Come on.
Yes.
Okay, so once my content loading is completed, after that, if you want to perform some operation, in which line you want me to write the code? Line number 12.
12.
Line number 12 or not? So here, can I write like console.log off? Okay, after loading the content inside the browser. Execute the code after loading the content or not. Loading the content where? Inside the browser or not. Now tell me, okay, this is all first time load only or not? In which phase this is? In which phase? In which mounting phase? First time load only or not? Okay, one component you created that is loaded first time inside the browser, that is which phase? Come on, that is which phase? Come on. This is my component.
Counting phase.
Okay, loaded first time. Okay, loaded first time. Loaded first time load. First time load only. First time load. That is which phase? Mounting phase or not? First time load. Once it is loaded, after that only, right? We can update it. Once it is loaded, then only unmount, right? If it is not loaded, what I can unload? Yes or no? Agreed?
Yes.
All are okay about the mounting phase before loading the content, after loading the content. If you want to perform some operation where we have tried the code in the mounting phase, before loading the content, if you want to perform some operation, before return statement outside the use effect, you can write it wherever you want. Before return statement means this one. Okay, outside the use effect, just you can write here. This is the place or not? Yes or no? After loading the content, in the mounting phase only, I'm talking about mounting phase only. After loading the content, if you want to perform some operation, where you want me to write?
Use effect.
Use effect.
Use effect, callback
The
function.
callback function, you have to write that code or not. My callback function second argument is what? My use effect second
Array.
an array dependencies list or not? Why this dependencies? What is the okay? What is the use of that one? We'll see later. Up to here, okay. Mounting phase.
Okay.
All are okay? Any question? Okay, so now I want to go with the updating phase. Now I want to go with what? Updating phase. Can I take one more example? I want to update first Sachin and then I want to make it like Dhoni, then that what happened like that. Okay, let's start. So give me one example with two state variables. Okay, those two state variables should update. Okay, should update in my browser. Those two state variable values should update like that. Can you give me one example? Anyone? Two state variables are required. Two state variables are required. Okay, whenever you click on the button, those two state variable values should update in the browser.
When a number changes, color should change.
Okay, tell me the code.
Write the button first.
Can I take like one state variable first? Okay, you want me to write the button? Okay, Rose. Okay, button, close my button. Okay, just one state variable based on the button click. I want to update that values inside the browser. So increment count, can I write like this? Increment count, right here. Come on, come on, come on. Can I create one state variable? CNT. Default value is what? 0. Default value is what? 0. Now here, can I make it like H1 CNT? Goes by H1. Done. Next,
On click function.
if I click on the button, right? Okay, just right on click. Here, here,
Expression
expression.
function.
Here, I don't want to create one more function. Listen carefully. Different ways we can write it. I don't want to create one more function here. Everything I want to do here itself. Then
So using on change. On change.
why on change? Am I change anything somewhere? Is there a text box? Is there a radio button? Radio button is there? Am I changing the data? No, right?
We are clicking.
Yeah, we click on. Okay, very simple here. Don't think more. First tell me, my question is straight question. In React, if you trigger any event, the event handler should be what? Function or function call?
Function.
Everyone knows it. Okay, that is anonymous function or named function?
Named function.
That is a function, anonymous function, named function, no one mentioned, right?
Okay.
Expecting a function, that's it. So that, so far you use it like a named functions. Can I try with the anonymous function? How is anonymous function looks like? Like this, right?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, whenever you click on this particular button, now the anonymous function executed or not? Okay, that is the first question, done. Now, any event you trigger, the event handler called with one variable, one argument. What is that argument? Event object, right? Synthetic event object, right? Any event that is on change, button clicker, not an issue. Okay, any event you trigger in React, the event handler called with what? One event object or not? Agreed? Yes or no? That you want to use or you don't want to use, that is the next level step. Okay, yes. Now in this particular body, what do you want me to do? In this body, what do you want me to do? I want to update.
Set count.
Set
count.
What? My count plus 1 or
1.
now in my arrow function, body contains how many statements now?
1.
One statement. If it is one statement, you want curly braces?
No.
Not required, right? Okay, so can I remove that curly brace? Can I remove that curly brace? Done. Okay, am I using this event anywhere? If you not use, is it required for me?
No.
No.
Now, in a single line, we can handle like that or not? Working or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, okay then. Let's take one more state variable. Right, different ways. Okay, come on. Name. What is that? Name. Set the name. Set name. What is that? React dot view state by default is like a Sachin. It's a kind of toggling. Okay, first time is what?
Name.
Okay, if I click on the button, if Sachin, I want Dhoni. If Dhoni, I want Sachin, like that. Go on. My button is like toggle name. Toggle name. Come on. Here.
Set name.
Change, right? Set the
Name.
what is the code?
Dhoni.
Toggling.
Single.
Something like toggling. If Sachin, I want Dhoni. If Dhoni, I want Sachin, like that. Come on. Yeah, if you said like Dhoni. Okay, then what happened? Always, it's like what? Always
Dhoni.
like what?
Dhoni.
Sachin to Dhoni, Dhoni to Sachin, like that. Here, this is one of the change.
Ternary operator.
Ternary operator, right? You're right. Name equals to what? Name equals to Sachin.
Sachin.
So what you want? Dhoni.
Dhoni.
Else what you want? I want Sachin.
Sachin.
Okay. So this is okay. This is leave it. Come to our discussion. Okay. Now, first time load is nothing but mounting phase. First time load, mounting phase. This is my template or not? How much time it will take to render 0 button, Sachin, toggle name button? How much time it will take? Do you know? How much time it will take? Do you know?
No.
I don't know. I want to know. Then after loading, I want to perform some operation. That's my requirement. Then
Use
oh,
effect.
that loading is completed or not completed. Who knows?
Leave.
Okay, React people, which hook?
Use effect.
Use effect is the hook or not? Okay, so React dot use effect is the hook. It's take how many arguments?
2 arguments.
2 arguments. What are those? Callback.
Callback.
Come on, remaining people.
Array.
The next one is like what? Array or not? Whenever line number 13 got executed, first time load, I can say what? I can say what? My content loading is completed or not in the mounting phase. Whenever line number 13 got executed. Agreed with me? Can I inspect it? Yes. Can I refresh my page? Okay. Can I put the debugger line number 4? Now again, can I refresh? Yes. Line number 4. I am at line number 4. At this moment, content loaded or not loaded?
Not loaded.
Not loaded. Okay. My state variable created and maintain the state, and then okay. Now one more state variable created. Line number 6. Line number 6 is what?
Use
I
effect.
am calling use effect. I am calling use effect. That operation is happening. Okay. I am calling use effect by passing 2 arguments or not. Now, once you call by passing these 2 arguments, callback and this one, is my use effect call this callback immediately?
No.
No. When it is called, whenever these lines of code rendered inside the browser, after that only it's called or not. Line number 7 executed means what? Already my content should load inside the browser. Loaded up. Mounting phase only I'm repeating. Loaded or not? So perfect. Done. Okay, first page completed. Okay, this is what can I say console.log. Okay, before or after mounting. After mounting, that means after my content loading is completed. After my content loading is completed. So can I go to my console? Yes. Okay, after mounting means once my content loading is completed, after that one it is executed or not. Okay, if you put the debugger, that is on the proof. Okay, perfect. Now my question is, it's not a mounting phase, updating phase. Now my requirement you can understand. What is my requirement? You know, first what is my value? Value
0.
0.
If I click on this one, it's turned to be what? 1.
1.
My 0 turned to be 1 means my updation happened or not.
Yes.
My data updated. My requirement is once my data got updated, okay, that means my data got updated. My updation is completed. After that, I want to perform some operation. I want to know that. Okay, who is going to update the data? Who is going to update the data inside the browser again? Come on, who is going to update the data?
React people.
Right, React people only, right? So that who has to tell then updation status? Updation happened or not? Okay, who has to tell? React people only, right? So that again, you have to depending upon my React people only or not. All are okay? Come on. Okay, now you can focus on the second argument. What is my first argument? Callback, common. What is my second argument? Tell me.
Array.
So see this array. At this moment, not say array. Okay, terminology wise dependencies you can say. Okay. Okay. So dependencies list. Do you have any dependencies here? No, right? No. Okay. Now my question is, I want to listen the count to variable value changes. Yes or no? 0 turn to be 1 means okay, it is like changed. I want to listen that change. How I can listen that change, you know? Now the same code you can copy, paste. Okay, which dependent value? That means which state value variable or which prop variable value you want me to listen? Which variable value you want me to listen? Tell me. Count, name, which variable value you want me to listen? Okay. First count and then name we can see. I want to listen which variable value? Come on. Count variable value. I want to listen count variable value. Listen carefully. Okay. Want to listen count variable value change. Only change. Now I'm going to refresh my page. Listen carefully. Okay. Refresh my page. Then what happened? See, after mounting, okay, once my content loading is completed, after that I want to perform some operation, that is this one. Okay. See, this particular line you want now, or it is like 0 to turn to be 1, then you want this line. When you want to execute this line?
0 to 1.
Whenever it is like turn to be like 0 to 1, then only I want to execute this line or not. But here, see, my use effect without any dependencies, okay, it is going to load what? First time load. If you have the dependent value here, then that time it is going to load what, you know, first time load, as well as for every count to change also it is going to load. See this. If you remove this one, it is going to load when?
First time load.
First time load. If we add this one, it is what? Okay,
First
it is
time load.
first time plus
No.
every count change or not? Yes or no? Agreed. Okay, that means it is loaded for every first time load for every count change.
Update.
But our requirement is what? See, first time load. Yes, loaded. If I click on this one, see this? For every count change also loaded or not? But our requirement is what? After count change, you want me to execute this one. First time load, you want me to execute this one. Tell me.
After updating the
Yeah, for every updation or not, then that time there is no other option they provided. You have to write the code. Why? Because use effect only the hook, only one hook. You have to handle all these 3 phases. So here you have to write the condition. One condition you have to write to prevent the execution of this particular line. What is this condition? Tell me.
count
If
set
count is not equals to
to
0.
0.
Okay, then only can you execute this statement? Yes or no? Simply. First time, what is my count value?
0.
0. So that it is not equals to 0. See, working as expected or not. Agreed? Come on. First time load, I'm expecting this after mounting only or not? Not count change one. Working as expected. Now for every change, yes, it is executing or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that means, okay, once my state value updation is completed, if you want to perform some operation, okay, which line is the suitable one? Where you want me to write that code? In which line you want me to write that code? Which line you want me to write that code? Line number 19 or not? Which state variable? That is an important. Which state variable? This is listen. This is listen. Count only or it is not listen. Okay, see this. It is not listen. You are searching. See, is it listening?
No.
No, right?
No.
You mentioned here, this particular use effect listens only count variable updations. Once my count variable updation, okay, rendered inside the browser, that one only is going to listen. Why? Because you mentioned what? Only
Count only.
Okay, now if you want to listen the name changes, okay, you can write one more. Okay, one more. Okay, here want to listen which one? Name variable updation or not? Name variable updation or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Name variable updation or not? Now here what you have to mention? Name you have to
Name.
mention. For example, here it's an array, right? Can I write like name also here?
Yes.
Can I write like name also here?
Yes. You just print that out.
Can I write like a name also here? Then that what happened? It is going to listen what? Count to name. but this particular logic only for count, then that time, okay, you can listen count only. Okay, this logic only for name, you can listen only name only. Okay, here the condition is what? Here the condition is what?
If name equals Sachin.
Name is not equals to Sachin. Name is not equals to Sachin. Will it work or not work? Check it. Okay, that means you can write any number of use effects in your program or not. Any problem? In your component, you can write any number of use effects or not based on your requirement. All are okay? Now, here there has some issue. Now see this. After mounting is okay. Now, if I click on this one, for every change, it is going to listen. Okay, now, if I click on the toggle name, now it's turned to be like a don't. Yes, listen. Now, if I click on this one, is it listening? See this. For if it is like a Sachin turned to be Dhoni, is it listening? Listening. Now the value is what?
Dhoni.
Okay. Now is it listening? See this?
No.
Something is missing, right? Yes or no?
Because of
Why? Because of this particular Sachin you have to.
Sachin.
Then what you have to do?
Put another use effect.
Set name is
Now,
Put-
here what you have to put it? Can I remove this one? Can I remove this one? Okay, if name there, then only you can perform some operation. Okay, now something is missing again. Okay, first time here nothing is there. Here nothing is there. Now see this. If I click on this one, Sachin working. Okay, Dhoni working, Sachin working, Dhoni working. But what is the problem?
first time not
First
told
time
load
not.
name.
Right. Now, see here. Whenever the name is not there, can I go with the default value Sachin here? Any problem?
Oh, yes. No.
Any problem? Okay, now my name is not there. Now it is like Sachin. Now for every value it is going to updating or not. Agreed?
Yes.
Got my point? Everything you have to write. Why? Because there is no specific, okay, conditions they not provide. Only one method they provide, one hook they provided. You are the person to handle, okay, by using that hook only all the phases. Okay? All are agreed? Updating phase. Shall we move to the next one? Unmounting.
Sir, in array method cannot pass two arguments in use effect.
Yeah, you can pass any number of arguments. Okay. Now
Okay.
it is going to listen count as well as name. What I'm telling is this logic only for count change I want to update, for not name change. Then that time you want me to execute this one here. For name change also it is going to execute, right? If I write
Okay.
like this, if I write like this, see. Okay, first I updated this one, expected. Now if I click on this particular one, this is also executed, right? See this? Okay, count change also executed, right? You want count change for name updation, count change logic you want me to execute?
No.
No, right? If requirement is like that, yes, you can use it. If the requirement is not like that, you can place like only count. Got my point?
Okay.
Okay, updation. Okay, here it is an array. Okay, you can place any number of values. Those value changes can listen. Okay, now count and name is like a state value, right? State variable, right? Okay, sometimes the value which is coming from outside, nothing but prop, that changes also we can listen or not. Any variable values we can listen. Okay, that should not be your constant let var, that is yours. React related variables. Got my point?
Okay.
Agreed? Shall we move to the unmount? Let's start. Updating phase. The next one is what? Unmount. Okay, this is very simple, but before that, my requirement is like this. You only tell how we can do it. Very simple. This is my app component. Okay, this is my root component app. Inside this app component, this is one more component. Okay, so this is my app component. Inside the app, this is my child component, for example. This is my child component. Here one button is there. Here one button is there. Okay, toggle button only. Toggle button. If I click on this particular button, okay, first time child loaded, right? First time load like this. My template should be like this. If I click on the button, now child component loaded or not loaded? Loaded. So if I click on this one, it should be what? Unload. If I click again, load, unload, load, unload, like that. Got my point? Okay, okay then. Already with the button you completed, right? Can I use checkbox now here? Can I use checkbox? Okay, if I check the checkbox, it should be what? Enabled. If I uncheck, disabled. Check, enabled. Uncheck, disabled. That means this child component loading, unloading, loading, unloading. That means what? Mounting, unmounting, like that or not? Yes or no? That one we'll see later. Can you complete this requirement first? Who want to tell? Go on. The requirement is that one. In my template, first of all, how many components are required? Update, mounting, yeah. How many components are required? App is required. The next one is what?
Child.
Constant child. Perfect. Child is required. Okay. Can I give some names like return h1? Okay. Return one div. You can take it. Close my div. Okay. Can I take like h1 child component? Okay. Close my h1. Perfect. Done. Now here, can I remove this one? Okay. Div. This is which component? This is which component? h1. This is my app component. Done. App component here. What you needed? One checkbox. One checkbox. Okay, simply checkbox. Okay, here what? Child. Done. My view ready? First time my child component mounted or not?
Mounted.
Now my component mounted or not? My child component mounted. Now if I do the change, unmount. Okay, now mount. Okay, first time not like this. Okay, we'll change it. First of all, I want to listen this change. Okay, you checked, unchecked, checked, unchecked. I want to listen this change first. After that, we can apply that change to this component. Okay, how we can listen this change?
React use effect.
If you do some change on this particular input control, I want to listen it. How we can listen? On change, right? Yes or no? Now on change is required. Constant function. Change. Any event you triggered, you can get what? Any event you triggered, you can get what? An event object or not? Event.target is what? Event.target is what? Your element, targeted element. Okay, it is a checkbox or radio button. Which one this is? This is what? It is a checkbox or not? Checkbox means, okay, if it is a radio button, you can take the value. Text box, you can take the value. Checkbox, can I take the value? If I take the value, what happens? See, okay, if I take the value, what happens? See. Okay, now go to console. Now always it's like say this on. You want this one, this value you want. Is it like expected value? No. Okay, so the value not a dot value checked. This is the property for what? Checkbox. Okay, this is the property for checkbox. Now see, checked, true, unchecked, false, checked, true, unchecked, false. Yes or no? Okay then. Now this value, can I manage with one state variable? Any problem to you? One value is there, I can hold with one state variable. Any problem? Constant is checked, set is checked is equals to react dot use state. Now set is checked. Yes. Can I add it? Any problem? So far good?
Good.
Okay. Can I use is checked here? Is checked. First time is checked value is what? First time is checked value is what? Undefined, right? Okay. Can I like is checked is true, right? Okay. And something you can put it. then that time you can easily understand. Now, if I click on this one, is checked is like true, so that it is visible or not. If I check this one, unchecked, checked, unchecked, working or not working through conditional.
Working.
Okay, now this is checked. Where you want me to place? Where you want me to place? To my child component or not? Can I remove this one? Yes. Okay, now can I refresh the page? First time, this value is what? This value is what? Nothing means false.
Nothing.
False. Okay, now if I checked mounted or not. If I unchecked,
Not mounted.
unmounted. Okay, my question is, first time it should be mounted. Then the time, what is the default value for this? What is the default value for this?
Undefined.
True.
True.
Okay, default value undefined. Now I want to show that. Then the time it should be like true. Now it is visible means this one should be what? Okay, both are in sync, right? It should be what?
False. It should be turned off.
Default it should be checked. So how we can check this checkbox? How we can check this checkbox? Checked equals to is checked or selected. Okay, we'll see. Now see this. All are in sync.
Yes.
Okay, this is checked. It is visible. It is visible. Both are okay, right? Now if I click on this one, uncheck, check, uncheck, check, uncheck. All are okay. Now go to elements tab. Now at this moment, my children component mounted or unmounted?
Mounted.
Children component mounted or unmounted? Mounted. Mounted. Now if I click on this one, what you observe in the elements tab? See. Come on. What you observe here? It is completely removed from the browser or not, that component. That means what? It is unmounted or not. Now, if I click on this one, after the checkbox, mounted or not? Yes or no? Unmounted or not? Now, my question is what you know? That means this particular component is going to die. Okay, after some time, this component is going to die. Okay. He thought like, okay, just before die, I want to do something. Before die, I want to do something. Okay, anyway, I'm going to die. Just before die, I want to do something. That before unmounting, I want to do something. Now tell me, mounting happened or not? Who knows? React. Unmounting also, who knows?
React.
Yeah, React people on, right? Who is going to did it? Okay, who is mounted? He only can unmount it or not? Who can construct? He can only destruct or not. So same like that. Okay, now see this. He knows how to destruct that one. When it is going to destruct, how, okay, how much time it will take, everything he knows, right? So this is my component is going to unmount. Yes or no? Agreed with me?
Yes.
Okay, now I want to come to know. Okay, when it is going to unmount. Okay, I want to do something. So by using which hook? By using which hook?
Use effect.
Use effect is the hook. Okay, take how many arguments? Take how many arguments?
Or
Two
One.
arguments. One is
Two,
like
two.
another one is what?
Dependency.
Empty dependency. Empty dependency means it is not listen any state or prop values. It is going to execute only first time load or not, one time. Yes or no? Now see, listen carefully. This is normal JavaScript syntax. Don't think more, okay? Use effect, call this callback. Agreed?
Yes.
Yes. One function can return one more function. Agreed? In JavaScript.
Yes.
One function can return one more function. Agreed or not? Yes or no? One function
Yes.
can return any value. Agreed. So tell me, this particular function, if I cut it, if I paste here, okay, this function returns what?
Nothing.
another function.
Another function.
Oh, okay.
Another function or not? Okay, this another function, if you want, okay, how you can get it? This function,
Need to call that.
you can get it.
Call.
You have to call this outer function or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, who call this outer function? Come to this point now. Who call this outer function? Come on.
Use effect.
Call this
Use
outer
effect.
function. Use effect or not. That means this function go to where? Who is calling?
Unmounted.
Okay. No. Okay. Yeah, as you said, okay, this function, if you want, okay, somebody has to call, then only you can get the function. Who call this function?
Yes.
Use
Use
effect.
React use
So
effect.
this return function also go to where? Use effect
First.
only or not? Yes or no? Who is the caller of my outer function? Who is the caller of my callback function? Who caller? Use
Use
effect.
effect.
Use effect.
So who call that function? The return value also go to where?
Use effect.
Use effect only or not? My use effect is a React one. He knows. Okay, when it is mounting, when it is going to unmount. What he did, you know? Just before unmount the component, anyway, this particular method is with him, right? Use effect, right? Okay, this method, when he is going to call, you know, this callback, okay, this return function, okay, just before I am going to unmount. Okay, now see this. Now, if I refresh the page, can I go to the console? Now, if I check this one, this component is what?
Gone.
Die.
Unmounting or not? See this, before unmounting, is called this function or not?
Yes.
Yes or no? That means, okay, some of the cleanup operations, if you want to perform, okay, then that time you can go with what? You can go with what? Okay, with unmounting phase or not. All are okay? Okay, some of the examples where exactly we are going to use, I will tell. For now, the basic thing is okay or not?
Yes.
Mounting, unmounting, and updating phase. Okay. Okay, then we'll continue one things in tomorrow's class. Thank you, guys. I'm going to complete this one. JavaGit.com.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the use effect, you written one more function. So
Yes.
instead of that, directly we can do console.log
Yeah.
without return statement.
So if I write like this, this
Yes.
is not there. Now tell me, this particular use effect, call this callback in mounting phase or not? That means what? That means what?
First time.
First time load only it is going to execute or not? First time load only it is going to execute or not? You want that one first time load, huh?
No.
No, right? Okay, let me run it. Open with live server. Okay, you inspect it. Go to console. Now, if I refresh the page, okay, I am going to unmount. It is mounted, right?
Yes.
Yes or no? That's the reason you want me to write any code here. If you write any code, that is when once my content loading is completed in the mounting phase, it is going to execute. But I don't want any operation, that kind of operation. Just I want just before unmounting or not.
Oh.
Okay. So,
Sir, can you explain on line 29 how you got that to work? Like
line number 20
29, how that like unloads and loads the thing automatically?
is checked. Okay. See this. If you do any operation on the checkbox, this on change event is going to trigger. So this
Yeah.
is the
No, the next line,
Yeah, this is from here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is my handler. So my function change, if you change anything, this method is going to trigger. Event or target is nothing but checkbox. Checked is the property. It is like checked or unchecked, like that. Say that true or false. That is updated where in the is checked. So my is checked either true or false. Now come to this one. This is like a logical operator and when this logical operator execute the next expression, you know, whenever the first expression is true, then only to go to the next.
Okay.
Got my point? So is checked is like true, then it is going to render. Whenever is checked is false, it is never go to the next. So it is not execute. It is not true. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Sir, and line number 15, empty array. For unmounting also, we have to provide this empty array.
Yeah, unmounting also you can provide. Why? Because, for example, here some state variables are updating. Every time it is going to call, right? I don't want that one. Got my point? Yeah. In future, there are some state variables updations are happening in my child component. Then that time, if I remove this one, what happened? You know, it is going to execute at first time for every state variable change or prop change. but I don't want it is only first time load only I want. Why? Because to give this particular function to my use effect. Got the point?
Mhm.
Okay, if you not mention anything, what happened? If you not mention anything, what happened? Tell me. First
It'll
time
just
load
do
for every state
Every
variable
time.
updations, count, name, something, something, every state variable updation. If you mention like this, what it means? What it means?
just do
Only
it
First
after
time.
rendering once.
First time load. If you mention something like this, what it means? First time
Load
load
every time
as well
that
as for
changes.
every count value updation. Okay.
Mm.
So go to this uijavakit.com, complete this. Okay, where is that one? Go to React, complete this lifecycle pages. Where is that? Okay. Component will amount. Okay, this is like class components. Leave it. Okay, this part you can leave it. This is related to class components. Okay, this is like functional components. Just you can go through this. Okay. Did you complete remaining all topics? List and keys, context, sharing the data up to here. Everything we completed. Did you complete it? If not complete, complete. Okay. Okay, then thank you guys. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.